Hello, Kathy. This is myself. This is me, and I have a very good friend taping for me, and she's actually going to be part of doing the PPA with me. So let me talk a little bit about how I understand hand under hand, and actually how I'm able to show this and teach this when I'm doing my one of my workshops. So the hand under hand is a tool that TIPA has come up with. It's an outstanding way to really make a connection with a person living with a dementia-related illness. And what I know, the latest expression that I've recently heard from TIPA during one of her webinars, which I love and really just talks about the connection and the relationship that's so important when we're working with people with a dementia. She talks about first looking for the donut before you look for the hole. And when I say that and I express it, it really is pretty powerful because it's really important first to make the connection, looking for the person with seeing who that person is, making that connection. And hand under hand and the positive physical approach is one of the ways, one of the tools, two of the tools that we use. So when we first want to see that person, we want to understand who they are. And HUH is our hand under hand, and it really does serve to connect with another person. When we're doing it, we're going to use, of course, the senses that are very important. First, of course, we know that primary is visual. The next is the verbal or the auditory. The next is the touch. The next is the taste. And then we have the smell. And of course, as TIPA says, we don't want to do the touch first because that's not the way to begin. Always begin with the primary, and that's visual. So I want to go into the positive physical approach, and I want to talk a little bit about how we do this. We have our 3 zones of awareness that we talk about in the workshop. The first being public space, which is about 6 feet away. When we're approaching someone with a dementia, we always want to make sure that they can see us. And of course, out here in public space, even if they have binoculars on, they can still see us, because what we're going to do to draw their attention is we're going to bring our hand right up to our face, and they will be able to see it, even if they are limited with their vision. So I'm out here in public space, and when I do this, because I want to create that social connection, I want to extend my hand. Now, if the individual extends their hand, what they're doing is they're welcoming me in. If they don't extend their hand, then of course I will stay out here in public space, or I can approach slowly. But what I want to do is I want to just come in and I want to extend my hand. If the person extends their hand, then I know they are welcoming me. So I come in and I want to do a hand under hand, which of course we know we get into the butterfly position, and we have the individual with the dementia on top. And this really does create a connection. I come to the side of the person. And why do I come to the side of the person? Because I am not in their confrontation. I am in what we call supportive stance. Because I'm out here in a supportive way, they can still escape if they need to, so to speak, but I'm not face to face with them, confronting them at all. And then what I want to do is I can either grasp them on a joint, I can grasp them on their elbow, or I can put my hand on their shoulder, which really does create that positive regard, because it's a closed loop right here. And then what I want to do is I want to initiate the action, and I want to say, I want to look at them, and I want to smile, and I want to bring a pleasant face, and I also want to say something complimentary. God, I just think your earrings are beautiful. And often that's how we're going to complete the hand under hand. Of course, now, because I've made the connection, this will reduce the risk of any sort of autonomic reactions that they might have had if I snuck up behind them. And this also, what hand under hand will provide with me, it will allow me to help the individual to complete some skilled tasks. I do not want to take away any strengths that may remain on that full donut. So this also allows me, while I'm here, to really give that warmth, to create that comfort sandwich, and to really create that solid connection. I can use visual here, and I also want to use verbal. If I want to go down the hall, I don't want to just say, hey, do you want to eat? Let's go. I don't want to have the diarrhea of the mouth. I really do want to use the visual. So I would say to the person, do you want to eat? Yes? Okay. She's shaking her head yes, by the way. Do you want to eat? Good. Okay, well, we're going to go down the hall, okay? And I use my head, and I'm smiling, and I wait for affirmation, for confirmation, and we walk down the hall. The hand under hand also, I just want to add, will really allow me to connect, to engage that person, to preserve motor skills, as I've written here, and to just reinforce how the hand under hand, the PPA, can be different with different gems. And as I've gotten here, the gems help to understand how to give the right setting and the right care so each gem can shine. And by the way, the PPA is different as we move along the spectrum of all the different gems. It's different. It may not look the same when you're working with a ruby. It may not look the same when you're working with an amber. But it's still a tool that can be used successfully, and it can really, really help to engage and make that connection. So that's my presentation on PPA and hand under hand. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, Kathy. Bye.